Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this one is coming straight from what I consider the heartland of my heart, Chicago, Illinois, and the possibility that there may be a serial killer on the loose with several, at least 11 unsolved murders or dead bodies that have been found in Chicago here in the last year or two. So let's get in it. The media, the national media and social media is not saying a whole lot about it, but let's see if we can find out what's going on. And this storyline has to deal with, if anybody's ever heard, especially on Reddit, the smiley face killer theory. So here we go. Chicago deaths of young men fuel serial killer fears, and the smiley face killer theory. Such fears have been exacerbated on social media, where true crime enthusiasts discuss alleged patterns between the deaths. These citizen sleuths have even given the theory a name, the smiley face killer. The latest alleged developments regarding the smiley face killer theory, whose name originates from graffiti said to be found near the crime scenes, are regularly discussed on Reddit threads that look into unsolved murders and crime mysteries. There is also a subreddit devoted to the issue, as well as Facebook groups delving into the details of the cases. The activities of citizen sleuths have fueled growing interest in the theory. Use of a search term smiley face killer has increased by over 200% in the past 12 months, according to data from Google Trends. Those looking into the theory say they are trying to help solve the cases by uncovering information the police or medical examiners may have missed. However, critics say that they may be hindering investigations or giving the victims false hope of a resolution. The police say there is no evidence the deaths are connected, but that does not seem to have deterred those who say they are searching for the truth. So let's look at the spat of deaths that have taken place. In 2022, a total of 11 bodies, mostly men, were found and removed from the Chicago River and Lake Michigan's shoreline, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. The tragedies have continued into 2023. In late April, a body found along Lake Michigan was identified as that of missing Navy sailor 21-year-old Semise Gray. And in mid-April, the body of 46-year-old Richard Garcia was found in the Chicago River. And in early March, the body of 41-year-old Daniel Elkington was discovered in the Kishwaukee River, a tributary of the Rock River in Illinois. In all cases, the police did not indicate that there was evidence to suggest foul play. Preliminary results from an autopsy conducted for Gray, for example, suggested that his death was due to drowning, with no evidence of significant injury that contributed to it. Of the 11 deaths in 2022, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office previously told Newsweek that 3 of the cases were ruled an accident, 1 was ruled a suicide, and the other 7 were ruled undetermined. The Chicago Police Department did not respond to Newsweek's email requesting comment on the story. In a previous statement in March earlier this year, following concerned social media posts, city and county officials said there is no evidence to support that the recent deaths are related, NBC Chicago reported at the time. So what is the smiley face killer connection? The conclusions reached by police and medical examiners have not satisfied everyone. Some continue to insist that the deaths may be connected. Typically, the victims were last seen in nightclub areas of the city. Their bodies were found near water, and their cause of death is either unknown, under investigation, or ruled a suicide. Nor are deaths in such circumstances or speculation surrounding them confined to Illinois. The Austin, Texas Police Department has repeatedly had to discuss rumors of a serial killer in that city, due to bodies being discovered by the Lady Bird Lake. So follow this. There's been at least 11 bodies in Chicago, and there's been at least 11 bodies found in Austin, Texas, near this Lady Bird Lake. And there's been speculation that these two separate states and cities may be connected, with these at least 22 people being found deceased under weird circumstances. The smiley face serial killer theory itself is not new either. It is thought to have originated around 2017 as attention focused on evidence surrounding deaths as far back as 2 decades. The theory has been prominently advanced by 2 retired New York City detectives, Kevin Gannon and Anthony Durante, as well as gang expert Lee Gilbertson, a criminal justice professor at St. Cloud State University in Minnesota. The trio believes that a string of deaths of young men found in bodies of water across several Midwestern states from the late 1990s to the 2010s was the work of a serial killer or a group of serial killers. Gannon has previously told Newsweek the smiley face comes from graffiti depicting a smiley face along with 13 other distinct symbols found near the locations where they believe the killers dumped the bodies. The group is actually leaving symbols behind, letting you know, yes, this is us, come and catch us, he said. As a result, multiple Facebook groups have popped up showing graffiti smiley faces in their cities and in areas close to where bodies have been found, adding impetus to the theory. Among these is a Facebook group called the Lady Bird Lake Serial Killer, Rainy Street Killer, which has amassed over 80,000 members, including criminal experts. While the page most regularly holds conversations surrounding the deaths in the Austin, Texas area connected to the Lady Bird Lake, members also discuss other mysterious deaths and possible serial killers in the United States. In 2019, a docuseries on smiley face killers, The Hunt for Justice, was aired from January 19th to February 23rd on television network Oxygen, diving deeper into the theory, and the theory also loosely inspired the 2020 film Smiley Face Killers. So why has the theory spread so far? Gannon said that the authorities' denials have only deepened the mystery. The reason the smiley face killers has persisted for so long is the enormous amount of young men and women, specifically men, who over the past 26 years have gone missing from bars, suspiciously separated from their friends, only to wind up deceased near or in a body of water. What makes this even more suspicious is the fact that most of these deaths occur during the fall and winter months, when it is very rare and unlikely for them to be near the water. If these were truly alcohol-related deaths, then why aren't there more of them in the summertime when young people are near bodies of water and drinking? Gannon also highlighted some of the physical clues that would counter the official view of the deaths. The evidence suggesting there is a serial killer or killers beyond the circumstantial is the physical evidence of the victims and the amount of decomposition or lack of decomposition on the victims' bodies at the time of recovery, compared to the amount of time the descendant was missing, he said. We have victims who were missing for 6 weeks who have 6 days of decomposition, or missing for 3 weeks and they have only 3 days of decomposition. That just doesn't add up. He also suggested that medical examiners may not want to admit they made mistakes during their investigations and would therefore be reluctant to change the manner of death from undetermined to homicide. Undetermined is a catch-22, he said. We don't have enough evidence to prove one or the other, so it's undetermined. It could be an accident or it could be a homicide. We just don't know. In the NYPD, we call this a CUPPI, C-U-P-P-I, case undetermined pending police investigation. We say pending police investigation because we mean further investigation, because you can't close the case without taking a closer look at it, and that requires further investigation. Gannon pointed to a possible lack of staff to conduct the further and in-depth investigations he says are necessary. He said it exemplified the deep problems that exist in handling any type of suspicious death in our country, he added. So, there has been some chatter on social media about this possible serial killer evidence with these multiple, at least 11 people that have been found deceased near the Chicago River, near Lake Michigan and its shoreline, at least 11 in the last 2 years. There's been at least 11 bodies found in Austin, Texas, under similar circumstances. And the theory is, or people are wondering, are these undetermined suspicious deaths in Austin, Texas, at least 11 of them, is there any correlation with at least 11 undetermined suspicious deaths in Chicago? This puts the police and the national media at between a rock and a hard place, because you want to expose the general public if there is a serial killer, but if there is not, you can cause negative pandemonium and negative, scary, you can cause a scenario of, what is the word I'm looking for? Hyper, have a scenario, let's see, of hyper fear, if you put out that there's an alleged serial killer and it happens not to be one. In Chicago, we know that there are many there's a lot of gun violence. There are a lot of assaults. There are a lot of carjackings that are taking place. They have a heavy migrant issue. Texas, the state of Texas, and particular cities in Texas, Houston, Austin, has the very similar issues that are taking place. A lot of people have moved to Austin, and with all of the high influx of individuals that have moved to Austin, not all of them are going to be positive. So this is a very interesting case, and I think my listeners should look up the whole documentary on the Smiley face killer theory, and evidently in the underbelly of society, and it has not reached national news. There is some talk about it on social media platforms, but there may be a serial killer in Chicago, Illinois, or they may be a serial killer or killers in Austin, Texas, with the platitude of bodies that have been found near lakes and rivers in both cities, the city of Austin, Texas, and the city of Chicago, which has made an uptick in the conspiracy theory that this might be the work of either an individual or multiple individuals associated with the Smiley face killer theory. Tell me what you think. It's a very dangerous world out here. We have to keep our head on a swivel, and utilize our five senses to stay safe, whether we're going out, leaving to go to work, going to the grocery store. Times have changed, and there is a fine line between life and death in today's time, and there is a high propensity of inhumanity in the humanness and the soullessness of some individuals that commit harm, crimes, and sometimes homicides to innocent individuals. Those individuals need to be found, arrested, and put under the jail. But I think there needs to be an awakening if there have been multiple deaths of specifically men in the Chicago area, near the Chicago River, near the Lake Michigan and the shoreline, and also in Austin, Texas. I think this is something that should raise the eyebrows of our citizenry, and hopefully our law enforcement officials have their pulse on this ongoing suspicious deaths that are being found near these rivers in Chicago and Austin, Texas. Tell me what you think. Are you familiar with the smiley face killer theory? And is anyone familiar with there have been multiple bodies being found in Chicago, especially men, and in similar scenarios in Austin, Texas? Both places, there have been at least 11 bodies found under suspicious circumstances, and one is wondering, is this by design or is this just by happen chance? Tell me what you think. This has been a Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth in a positive, righteous, and God-fearing way.